All right, guys, here we're going to talk about episode 13 of season 1, The Punisher, the final episode of this season. It does conclude.
I have so many notes. Holy shit.
I'll let you start it off.
No, I'm just saying, like, there's so many notes. Like, I'm not going to be able to read all these notes. Just cut to commercial.
I want to cut right to the end real quick.
Yeah, right.
So it ended with him with a nice little talk, and it just kind of like drones off and is over.
Oh,
yeah. How did you think? How did you feel about that?
Fucking loved it. Every minute of this was the greatest thing ever. I wasn't sure where they were going to go after last time, how they were going to top it, what they could possibly do to satisfy me on all angles, and they fucking fed me delicious ambrosia and rubbed my stomach.
I was a little upset.
Okay.
I thought it could have ended on a higher note, a bigger cliffhanger. Have Billy is in the hospital. He like mangle fucked his face, but I don't think he mangled it bad enough. If you had any part in playing and killing my family, hey, you can't live with all your appendages because I can't ever have you come back at me. And the idea that you're ever alive, even though they say he had traumatic brain injury, we don't know if the man who comes back will even be him. He's gonna be him. He's gonna be what is that guy's name?
But like insane or Crossbones. Who's he gonna be?
I was thinking there's a guy, I think Jigsaw or something like that. A guy's all jacked up, fuck-faced.
Jacked up fuckface.
Yeah.
Is that in Marvel canon? Because I love that name.
Yeah, that is. But I think he'll come back. He'll be a bad guy, of course. So, like, yeah, my thing would be like, nah, you got to remove, like, all his fingers and his toes just because you don't like him.
Okay.
And, yeah, of course, fuck his face up. But, like, also, like, pull out his tongue because I don't even want to hear him again.
I don't even want to hear you talking anymore.
Or I could just kill him.
Yeah, but I liked that, the whole, should we just talk about, like, the ending fight scene or whatever? Because that's, like, the main thing. This was, like, I know, like, some of it's on the nose and some of it's whatever, but it was, like, if you had asked me, as a joke, pick the most, like, Shakespearean, like, thing or whatever, it would be, like, yeah, scrape his face across a broken mirror and then, like, force him to live like that or whatever, because he's pretty or whatever. He looks...
Yeah, he cares about his looks a lot.
They've talked about, like, in earlier stuff, we haven't mentioned it because it feels almost like just like, hey, there's dialogue and things, whatever. He says, it's all about women and money and cars and shit. And he's like, it's not about that, Frank. It's about how far I've come. It's about who I see when I look in the mirror. You see a dead man, and he keeps talking, right? That whole shit's been, like, bubbling up. It's like fucking themes. I'm so impressed that they actually had this kind of writing. And, like, in this fight... He says, Billy says to Frank, look at yourself. You're, like, pathetic or whatever. And I thought it was, like, a goofy thing where he's like, I can't look at myself because you broke the mirror. Stab. Oh, shit, or whatever. But then, obviously, there's more mirrors, and there's more opportunities for more of that stuff. So he gets to do the whole look at yourself. And then you see Frank realizing, like, oh... he says, dying's easy. I'm gonna make you go through what I go through. Bill, every morning I wake up and I look for them until I remember that you took them from me. And every morning when you wake up and you look at yourself, you're gonna see me doing this. And the way Billy screams when he pushes his face down there, I think it's a combination of, like, the pain and, like, the realization of what's happening. He's got that one bug eye looking at Frank. It's terrifying. It's literally terrifying.
I don't know that it would have mangled him enough.
I know what you're saying. I think we have to make certain allowances and, like, leaps for, like, what, because they show it and there's, like, weird goofy shit and it doesn't. I don't know if that's what it would look like.
Because honestly, I think Frank's face would look as bad just from being pummeled.
Just from all of his fucking beatings he's taken the whole time. I know.
Now Billy kidnaps these two workers from the carnival or whatever. What do you call it?
That's such a
the
bad
merry-go-round, and ties them up. And he goes, they're bleeding out.
Yeah.
What did he cut their armpits?
He slit their wrists.
Did he?
Yeah, because they were doing like this later, and it was. I wondered that too, because, like, blood was coming down their, like, shoulders and arms and stuff.
I saw the blood.
I think he, like, cut their wrists, like, a certain way.
They never showed that, right? That wasn't just me.
Not like a close up, no.
Yeah. Because I just
but later
I'm like, how long would it take?
She has something like wrapped around or something, I think, too. And I think if you keep them above your heart, it's, like, longer still too. I think he, like, tried to plan it to keep the drama high because that's Billy's style.
Sure.
Whatever.
But yeah, so they're there. Shots are being fired back and forth.
Billy
very early on, Punisher gets popped right in the leg, and then
Yeah.
tourniquets his leg, and manages to fight that fight.
Kind of just
perfectly.
never references that again.
Yeah.
At this point, I've become numb to how numb they are to, and it happens to Billy too. In all fairness, because he's literally shot in the arm, and like for parts earlier, you kind of think he's favoring the arm or like bluffing that he can use that arm well.
Then he forgets.
And then in this fight, he's just like, it turns out nothing's happened. So I'm like, okay, fine. But Billy gets shot in the face.
Yeah, in the cheek, and then like spits
Yeah.
out the bullet or something.
Yeah. Now it is a ricochet. So like whatever, but that's still insane that you could get shot in the face and be like, and like pull it out of your mouth and then like, all right, I'm good. Like start fighting.
Well,
like,
it's not that insane. There's a popular, popular. It's not very popular.
Right.
A shitty rapper shoots himself in the mouth in a car.
Sure.
And he spits the bullet out in a very similar way.
Great.
He did it like live on his like Facebook stream.
I'm sure. Oh, okay, yeah. Not that it's impossible, but like to have it as a thing, I think is fucking insane. It's
the
weird to me.
bullet removing from the arm in his apartment, I thought looked terrible.
It looked kind of fake.
It was so shallowly in there. Like it was like right at the end. He's like, bloop, got it, all right.
Right.
But then the preceding scene of him murking fucking everybody mercilessly.
So now we're going back to the beginning. Yeah.
That was pretty interesting.
You liked that? What did you think about that?
It was interesting. So
Ooh.
do I think it was good? I don't know. So he killed a bunch of people, and like the way he did it was interesting. What made me feel bad was when he exits the building. There's no like cars there. There's no one watching the perimeter.
Yep.
That's not how like it would ever happen.
Right. This has happened. I think like we're led to believe Punisher takes place in an alternate universe where no one's waiting outside ever, because Billy's escaped like 3 times now by simply leaving the building that the good guy, his bad guys, the good guys are in, and can just walk out. And I'm like, don't you have people stationed? Like, you know where the exits are. You've like you plan these strikes. You know what's happening.
Yeah,
what are you doing?
That was my number 1 pet peeve of the episode.
Yeah.
Was I was like, Billy just walks away. And my number 2 was the Punisher just showing up for that fight. I was like, where did he get the guns and the stuff? Like, where did he get anything to actually have this fight?
Yeah, because his lair is a crime scene.
Presumably, he has stashes all around the city. But if you never say that, he doesn't.
Okay.
And I go like, well, where was that? He got the vest back, which he is the same vest because he painted it, and it still has 2 bullet holes. Did you notice on the top?
I did not notice.
So
no.
that is the exact same vest that he got somehow with multiple guns somehow.
Yeah, they must have helped him, but they want him to like.
They would not have helped him.
They wanted him to like not do this anymore. That was pretty explicit.
Yeah, and
they
then
were like, "Get out of here."
Madani shows up, and like I'm like, oh, is she dead? That could be interesting.
He's She's like, freeze, motherfucker, and before she finishes saying the R in motherfucker, he just fucking shoots her. He's like, bitch, get the fuck, we're doing something.
Yeah.
That was insane. And you know, she doesn't die. That's fine. Not that I like wanted her to die.
I could have gone either way, because I think that would have built a lot of tension. Where it's like, oh shit, you just killed her. All right.
Yeah.
It gave her black eyes for no reason. It seemed.
That's like surgery or some shit. I don't know what they were doing with that.
I don't know.
That's weird. But yeah, when he shoots her, I'm kind of like, because like for that fight at the very least, you think she might be dead.
Yeah.
Because it was clearly like she got shot in the head, which usually results in death. So at that moment, you're like, what the fuck? This show's crazy. Because they had her whole like, I'm gonna swag out, and he's like, Agent Madani, get back here, and ding, doorbell.
Yeah.
Oh my god, that's awesome. She's like, I got a text, I have to go save the day or something, and then just like a record scratch. Like, turns out that is not what was going to happen.
And Billy's the one that sent her the who sent her that text message?
I have no idea what the fuck was even going on.
Because I was
there.
like, where did that come from?
I don't know. She says, Jesus, Frank. But I don't know if we were supposed to read the screen or understand something.
I may have missed something there, but the premise, she was going to that fight.
Of course.
But I was like, who sent that? Did Billy want to clean up loose ends? Because Billy then cleaned up some loose ends, almost.
Yeah, I'm not really clear about that, but what I do want to call out, because we're going to move on and I'm going to forget, is when she was typing up her like report, the fucking icons on the screen, she was using like, it's like WordPerfect 8 or like or like Office, like Microsoft Word 97 or something like that. It looked so old and shitty, which is so
that makes sense though.
It's so perfect as like a government and employee to be using absolute shit, which I thought was great, because all the computers look all fancy and they're connecting to satellites and all this bullshit, but that's how it is. Only you're using software that's fucking old and shitty, and it's amazing.
Yeah.
But she goes there, she gets shot immediately. Frank kind of uses that as his opportunity to go like, "Bleh!" and like start fighting in some other way or whatever, right? Doing something, whatever, which is fine.
Yeah, he eventually wrecks Billy in that thing. I like
the
when
knives
it does
stuff.
the flashbacks. I'm not too fond of, but I like when it did the cut to all the horses' faces, like, I was like, all right.
Yeah, creative
That
like
was artsy,
things
that was
or whatever.
cool.
Little artsiness. I liked Billy, because I'd kind of even forgotten that he has, or like, why would he still have it? I guess he always has it.
Always
his like
have
fucking Assassin's Creed blade thing, and it turns the tide. And that should have.
It looks like that could have killed Frank on its own. It seemingly went through the 2 bones of your hand and out the other side. And I'm like, there's so many veins there.
It's I've had to just abandon any realistic because they should all be dead so many times.
Well, also, even if we just
so
pick up
crazy.
from the beginning of the episode, you have Frank immediately like waking up from like a surgery to be like, yeah, I could save the day right now.
Okay, and like he's having trouble putting his boots on, and then like goes out to like take on Billy, who's got like a little like thing going on there. I'm like, damn.
In fairness,
son.
when he first went to take him on, he was just gonna be laying on a building and just snipe him.
Of
so
course,
like that, I almost was like, yeah,
I know why
that's fine.
I know why he thought whatever plan he had would work, but like it's like funny, like you're saying, and like things even look like they're healing, but then they keep like putting new blood on like the one bullet graze that he had, which has been sewn up and gone
but that
its
one
back
would
or
keep
something like
ripping.
that. It's crazy though how much punishment he's taken and still been like fine or whatever. And not that like it's not ruining it for me. I know everything does that and it's totally fine. But when you think about what's going on, you're like, holy shit. Because we meet Madani's father, who's apparently a doctor. That might have been said, but I forgot it. And he does like the fucking.
It all made sense. I don't remember them ever saying it, but I was like, yep, they're rich. They have this fancy fucking shit.
Oh, yeah.
They bought her a Jaguar or something.
Well, she's like a psychiatrist because she's like, let me write you a prescription. So you're like, okay. And I don't know if in episode 1 or 2, some of that dialogue, she might have said something like, oh, you and Dad are always telling me to do this, but this is my passion. Like, leave me alone. Something like that. But yeah, he's like a medical doctor, house doctor, who like they do like the fucking like lung puncture
with the worst shit. CG blood spurt ever.
Oh yeah, I did not notice that.
But like, I don't think like
that level of
his
like
lung broke is filling his rib broke is filling his lung with blood. But they don't address the stab wound to his side at all. It didn't seem.
And like all the other ridiculous like stuff that happens or is like fucking you'd be laid up for some period of time.
You see, Punisher has a special power. He can move his organs around to avoid certain injuries.
Things happening. No, he definitely like the character. In canon does not have powers, right?
No.
So this is just him being tough or something. This is fine because he's healing at a rate that is like crazy or something like that. And I'm willing to take them on this on this
For every
ride.
life he takes, he gains a little health.
Gains a little bit of their soul, right? There's health packs, which is the main difference between reality and fantasy is the lack of health potions. They'll fix everything.
Yeah. Got plenty of mana potions, but no
mana
health.
potions. We're flush with mana potions, but health potions hard to come by. Much more expensive. Usually in games it's flipped. That's not accurate.
Yeah.
No, it's fine though, because like the villains seem to do the same thing, right? Because like Orange gets stabbed and he's in the heart and is like, well that's the thing, Frank, go fuck yourself, and is still doing his thing. Yeah. Billy gets shot and he's early on, so we'll talk about Curtis, right? He goes to do the Curtis thing, like you said, he wants to snap him.
I'm glad Curtis didn't die. I like Peg Leg Pete.
He's cool.
I wouldn't want him going nowhere.
Exactly.
I think the CG on that looks pretty good.
Yeah, they've gotten so much better at that. It's been like a number of years now.
That's like an amazing science to me.
Yeah,
like painting things out, putting them in.
Right.
Because he puts that sock on, and I'm like, was there a stunt double there? Like, is that a guy with no leg that did that part? Because that looked so real.
Yeah. Just like that used to be some of the hardest stuff, where someone would like lose a limb, and then for like the rest of that episode or that season, sometimes it'd be this awkward like
it's folded over into their shirt or behind their back
thing where there's no thing, and you're like, come on, dude, this shit's messed up. This shit's crazy. But here, we can just like take things out. During that scene, I thought Billy, like I said, was favoring his arm. Like he only shot with both arms, and he had the gun in like his like bad arm, and then even like leans it on like the desk at like one point. And I was like, oh, this is a nice subtle thing of like he can't even really just shoot with this one arm because it's still like fucked or whatever. But then nothing happens with that at all.
I could have sworn that what's the guy's name? What's Peg Leg Pete's name again?
Curtis.
I could have sworn Curtis got shot like in the kidney as he jumped over that fucking table, but it was a shoulder shot.
Yeah. There's like of blood coming up. It was hard to tell like what was happening or whatever.
Because in my head I'm like, oh, he's gonna die over there. Oh, he's gonna send Punisher over the edge.
I know.
I'm like, oh no, he's alive. People do have honor, I suppose. To walk away, he ejected the clip. Okay, okay.
Yeah, everything played out there fine.
Would have been great. Would have been great if he's like, I want to hear you eject that clip.
Yeah.
And he ejects it and like gets shot. Then he's like, had 2 guns, asshole.
I literally in my head wanted that. I wanted because like they did this cool thing because they've established him as like a sniper with like the like intro credit Mexican like shooting across the border thing. So it's like nothing none of this even seems weird. But even here when they like reveal the Punisher, there's a little like camera dip thing or whatever, and I wanted him to like eject it, Billy to stand up, him to be looking at it, and then do the exact same camera dip thing. But there's a gun right next to that gun, and he's just shooting it with that gun.
I
would have been amazing.
I really would have loved that.
That would have been that would have been funny though. I don't know if that's what they're going for, but I would have loved that so much.
And
I guess
even make sense.
I guess I do know you, Billy, or something like that. Like, god damn.
Like, it would make sense if there was a thing where like it was somehow quicker to switch guns than it would be to reload. But I think he could reload quicker than he'd ever be able to shoot. So like, it doesn't actually make sense. But
Lee Harvey Oswald, that shit.
I did want.
That would have been like that's like a comedy thing that I think that we share of like this outlandish like. You know, like we're having this conversation here, and then about like a third person,
and
then it like cuts out, and they're sitting right next to you, being like, guys, and like there's something funny about like this like reveal of going wide and it being funny that I love a lot.
And the way it was framed up, it could have happened.
It would have been perfect, guys. Missed opportunity for some awesome humor there. I liked all that, like you're saying. That kind of segues into the Micro and his family. He fucks his wife. That's pretty cool.
I thought that was very strange.
Very strange.
Like, I know it's been a year. Like, that's what you want. But, like, in the bathroom with your kids in the next room, you both go in there, like...
And she's, like, watching him playing Go Fish, and she's like, you know what? I want to fuck this motherfucker.
And it was not very quiet.
No.
Like, if you ever... like do anything in a room or like near someone else, you want to be at least a little quiet, and they're like moaning and yelling and.
Well, and he says like shh, but like I'm like, wait a minute, you're like hitting your elbow on something, and like there's a guard there who's like, what's going on? Is someone attacking you, ma'am? She's like, no, he's not hurting me. It's something else. Like and he busts in like 2 seconds, which I think is funny because that's like proof he hasn't been doing anything else in a weird way. But like funny for his character, and she laughs and says, "I've missed you" and stuff. And I'm like, okay. Right.
Well, it's over.
Sorry. Sorry. I've been on a couch.
Been in a basement in a robe for a year and a half.
You might say. I don't know. Whatever.
What else happens in this episode? I feel like
we got a cool flashback to Uncle Billy. I want to call that out.
Yes.
Where
you kind of see he's always been a shit fuck. Like.
Well, and he
comes off as so fake and plastic his whole life.
Right.
But I like that, like the Punisher, like nah, we're brothers, and like that doesn't see it.
Well, he sees him as like, he's preoccupied. He's like the pretty boy, and he's got the women, and the money is his like thing. But at the core, we share this like bond or whatever. Very
How
different
do you know you were named after Billy the Kid if you were an orphan? That's a very good question, bitch. Why are you so smart? Can't be your daddy's daughter.
Yeah, I loved all that though, and like it shows off even more because like now they're in this life or death struggle at the fucking merry-go-round, and like we know he knew about the ritual, and we know he knew that they were going to kill him that day, but we didn't know that they were ever all there together. Right?
No.
And he's even like bonding with his son, like, come get it, food's ready or something.
Get it while it's hot.
Yeah, and you're like, oh shit, like these literally been like Uncle Billy, not just this guy who I serve with that I know. Oh yeah, it's Bill. Yeah, I'm gonna go out with Bill tonight. It's like no, like Bill could like show up while Frank was gone, and his wife would be like, oh come in, we gotta talk about this thing. Like they were really tight.
Yeah, gives him a kiss, like
and you're like, fuck, this makes it so much worse. And then you cut back to like like fighting and stuff, and you're like, fuck this motherfucker up.
He's a scumbag.
Ruined his whole life. God.
I can't imagine not killing him. He's killed so many people for less that like. The whole living with the pain, it's not worse. Living is always better. Especially when you're a person that has no conscience. Like he's not a real person.
I know that, I don't even disagree. I think like realistically, even just for his own closure, you would want to like kill the person, and like you're saying tactically, but like
he's a guy that can clearly come back at you at any time.
Yes, but like the story here obviously is that he's taking away what's most important from him.
No, I
leaving
understand
him to die like that, right? So like.
Well, I'd be like, you're not having an open casket, and then just shoot him. Like that would be my thing.
Yeah. And honestly, up until the last minute, he was gonna do that.
Yeah.
He was like, look at yourself as I fucking open you up like a fucking bag of chips, and they go everywhere, and I'm sorry, and all that stuff, and like your throat. But like,
I'm just gonna feel really bad as if in like season 3, that guy like kills Karen or whatever, like or something.
he kills Froggy somehow, and it's like, wait, fuck, what? No.
I like that character. Ever since Mighty Ducks, he's been a good guy. But
that's the thing is like they ended this in. I want to say I was really happy with the ending because I wasn't sure because like after the fight with Billy, I'm like okay, and then he like cradles Madani's like quivering head and
the other kids sit down next to him,
and the kids are like okay, it's like an after school special, and he's like. Like fuck or whatever, and like the meow meow meow, and you're like okay, how does this end or whatever, right?
We're giving you a new passport, and you're
you're
can
now
go wherever you want.
You're now Pete Castiglione.
Yeah,
or whatever, which is a great fake name. So like, but that's the whole thing. Like, well, how is this gonna end? Like, what's gonna happen here? Like, is Billy dead? I guess he's dead. Is he like a mad scientist now
Billy's
with his
not
face
dead.
or whatever?
He's...
No, I know. We know. But I'm saying like, when he sits down there, you're like, wait. So what's your angle? Like, how are we gonna set this up?
I think
Can
the
you
character
introduce
is
a new
Jigsaw.
villain now?
I think that's what
Jigsaw?
it's called.
Okay.
Because his face is all put together like a fucking jigsaw
Perfect.
puzzle.
That's the thing. They set it up where, like, if they wanted to, they could just never reference Billy again. But they've set it up so that they could if they want to. They've set it up where, like, they didn't introduce, like, a new, like, villain.
That's what I think I would have preferred over that little, like, soliloquy at the end. I would have wanted,
I love it,
like, the 6 seconds after the credits thing of, like, so... this is what New York is like. I'm going to like this. Or, like, you know, something with somebody.
I know. I like that they made this almost like a standalone that can... because they can never make any more if
they
want.
could stop right here.
And it's perfect. And, like, everything's fine. And I'm not going to be like, what about that thing? You know, everything fits, and I really enjoy that in this world today where everything has to be a part of a thing and everything has to tease something and everything has to be a thing. I like that this could just be... because, like, my dad, who doesn't even like comic book stuff, per se, was like, oh, I love this. I love, like, revenge stories and all that shit. And he doesn't know shit about Easter eggs or who's who or what's going to happen or is Spider-Man going to now be in this or something like no one knows anything about like the buying people and who has the rights to people and what's like comics and all that shit. He just knows Frank/Pete and his family and the death and the army, and like that's all he knows and all that stuff. So and he still really enjoyed this whole season for what it was.
It was a good show. And at the end of the day, that's all you really have to be. I do want there to be a season 2, 3, 5, 7, 10, whatever.
I wonder what they're gonna do if they're gonna keep this or if Punisher will just show up in like the other things, because this didn't have the same feel as the other Marvel things to me.
Because without having any superpowers, you had to keep it all grounded. It was nice.
But even like the like all the other Marvel stuff, like I'm really interested. Like, ooh, what if this person teams up with that person? This happens here. And like Punisher, I'm not like I don't know who's gonna. Who he should roll with or what should happen. Doesn't have the same vibe to me or whatever.
Who do I like when the Punisher is with Wolverine. I like when the Punisher is with...
from the comic, yeah. Who else? Yeah.
Yeah, Deadpool. Punisher Spider-Man combo is nice. You could do the Spider-Man, like the Man-Spider and the Punisher hunting him thing. That could be a cool arc to introduce a Spider-Man character and his changing of powers, going through a new mutation. Really anybody you could match them up with is pretty nice, but I think I would love them to do a Wolverine series, and I would love.
I think they can do that now, right?
They can now.
That's really interesting. That's a cool. So I don't know shit about shit either, honestly. With I know like the most popular people, but like Punisher, I barely know anything about the comics or whatever. So yeah, I didn't know Wolverine was a thing, but that's cool.
If I was the next series, if I had an idea to do it, and I think I told you before, I don't know if I told the world.
Tell the world.
There's a thing where Wolverine fakes his own death and he goes to Mandapore and he becomes Patch. He's like a private eye, and I think that would be a great way to segment and like distance yourself from like the previous Wolverine stuff.
Holy shit.
You start a whole new series. You have this Wolverine character in the Patch and doing things not like secretly using his powers.
If the Punisher went to like Japan, right? Or where's Mandapore?
Mandapore is like
I feel like it's Asian
Thailand
for me.
or something.
Okay, sure. So
it's probably fake.
Yeah, exactly. Well, sounds familiar enough. Maybe just from this shit.
Stanley was really good with that shit.
It was really good. What's the one that Dr. Doom owns? That's not real.
He's from Latveria.
Latvia. I don't know. If the fucking Punisher had like fled America finally now, or was off doing something, visiting someone, gets roiled up into some weird gangster like Yakuza style plot or whatever. The main guy has an eye patch. It's like episode 4. You don't even know shit's happening or whatever the fuck. And then all of a sudden, like and this is our new TV universe Wolverine. That would be like the sickest shit in the fucking world.
I would love all of it.
That would be amazing.
Oh, it'd be so good.
That would be totally worth doing like a season 2, season 8, whatever the fucking thing. If you could do stuff like that.
Yeah.
Which would be fucking amazing. Because any character that has any military or like veteran status or any government whatever stuff or anything like that would fit perfectly with him.
Sure.
And like where he fits in. He seems not to like that stuff. Corruption and stuff like that. So it would be good.
Yeah. Like other things would be cool, like a Punisher Captain America like thing would be cool, but I don't think you're going to see any of the Marvel movie guys in the TV shows, at least not for years. I really would love the crossover with the TV characters playing themselves in the movies. I think that would be cool if, like in Infinity Wars, there was like a little oh, like a little thing in New York, and there's Daredevil, and there's blah blah. Like, oh, cool. Oh, that Punisher just shot some guy. Like that kind of shit would be happening because it's happening in the city they're in.
That would be
they
fucking
should
awesome.
be there,
I know.
And now they actually can be there, and it could be great.
I really, do you know if they've said if they intend to do that or not?
I've not heard anything.
Either way.
Either way,
because like DC chose to do a thing where like a different guy plays the Flash.
They have a different universe for everything. And it's the dumbest shit ever. Even some of their TV shows are in different universes, which I'm like, God damn it, you idiots! Can you do anything right? And
like somebody was telling me about something, and they're like, oh, that's the guy from the other Earth. Like the main guy's in a wheelchair and he's dead or something like that. And I was like, what the fuck are you talking about? Because that shit's fine or whatever. But like they're actually trying to get the public at large to be invested in this multiple dimensions thing that they have going. I'm not sure if that's a good idea or not. Marvel, though, I could see why they wouldn't cross things over, but it would be much better if
if they actually
that introduction was
the
your new Wolverine,
shit moments would be ridiculous.
Right, and they should do it like you're talking about, where like it's something from some weird angle where it's like that's Wolverine, some dude with an eye patch, and then your nerdy friend goes like, no, dude, this is the sickest shit ever. This is from the comics. This is amazing.
I had in the bottom of my heart hoping that would be what happened with the Logan one, because he died, maybe he died, and they could start that over, and it would be more low key. He wouldn't have to be in the same shape. He could do his thing.
For Hugh Jackman to keep doing. Yeah. That's true. And he's a fucking actor, so he could be this intense role of the fucking
the hair's differently now,
intrigue and all that other bullshit.
Yeah,
and he can leave his shirt on. It's perfect.
More like the James Bondy type.
Have you written a letter? Have you told them about this? Do they know about this?
I talked to him in person.
Okay, good.
Yeah. I said, hey Hugh,
I want to make sure that they know about this. All right, we got a little off topic or whatever.
Yeah.
But I don't. Maybe I'm autistic, but I don't know why. Because Micro goes and it's like Thanksgiving, whatever the fuck, or some sort of large bird-related holiday, and
or
Frank,
just a coming home day.
Yeah, and Frank's like, I'm not going. You know why? But I don't know why. Do you know why, Stefan?
I don't know why.
Oh God, fuck.
I think it's just like, I'm
relying on you to know
he's
why.
Starting
in
a
these
whole
cases.
new life over. He can't do it. He's already skipped on one dinner. I have a trend going. I can't go to another dinner.
I have a streak. I have to always blow your wife off.
I think it's mainly like, this is your family now. Like, I don't need to be this place. Like I was there for them while you weren't there, but now this is you. Let this just be you.
So that
I'll
would
be killing people. I got a hammer. I'll catch you later.
You do you. I got this hammer in the back. We're good. No, like that would have been like my guess, but I don't know if that was clear or if that's really it.
It's left up to interpretation.
I kind of hate that.
Yeah, I don't like anything like that.
I mean, I usually like interpretation stuff, but in that scene, I was like, wait, why though? And then he drives off. I'm like, no, wait, someone, please. And then she says, where's Pete? Where's Frank? Whatever. And I go, okay, now he's gonna like lay it down for the dumb people, and I'm gonna know why. Oh, he had to do his own thing. You understand? He's not. This is not his thing anymore. He doesn't want my wife. He wants his wife, and he can't have it. So he's got to go off into the sun. Oh, wow. Okay, something weird or whatever. But no. Yeah. But it ends. I loved that speech. I loved him saying, for the first time, I'm scared, and for the first time, I don't have a war to fight, and I'm scared. And for him to end up in that group, because again, the whole time, we had this side thing with Lewis and Curtis's group, and that's how they sort of crossed paths, and that he's a terrorist, and Punisher stops him or whatever. And it's no, that was this very integral part of the whole thing, and he ends up back there, where he thought it was ridiculous before and whatever. And Billy thought it was ridiculous too, and sort of doesn't end up back there, and Frank ends up there sharing his story for the other people, helping in his own way the people that are victims of whatever the fuck. Thought it was very poetic, Shakespearean even. Yeah.
I do think it's odd though. He's still supposed to be dead. He still looks exactly the same. His face was published as across the world. I think that's a little bit of an error. They tried to sweep that away by Curtis saying, "We keep each other's secrets here. That's our thing." And I'm like, really? Everyone that shows up to your group sessions is gonna keep secret that this dude that notoriously fucking terrorized the city for a week and everyone's looking for is still alive? Everyone's gonna sit on that? Is that the thing? Maybe. Yeah. But at this point, even if they came forward, this is Frank Castle. I'm Pete. I look like him. I have all the documentation. Yeah. I used to box. My nose is just like this or whatever. And it's oh, okay. Yeah. He should grow back the beard though. I liked that. I liked the beard, long hair Punisher. Yeah. I thought that was cool. That was a cool undercover. And then you can have that same moment of snip snip, I'm back bitches or whatever. Which is whatever.
I think we talked about all the possible things we could talk about. Do you agree?
I think that's the episode. If we forgot something, if something you want to talk about, let us know in those comments below. Don't die in a fire, and we'll see you next time.